This is shakshuka. It's a dish of eggs poached in a spicy tomato sauce with sautéed vegetables that originated in Ottoman-occupied North Africa in the 16th century. It's a dish of rich history and culture, and is very popular across the Middle East and the entire Maghrebi region. To give this dish a precise country of origin is not only a culturally divisive statement, but also most likely just wrong. With all that being said, shakshuka is definitely one of my favorite breakfasts to make lately. And the other day I was just making this for myself when it hit me. This is the absolute best student breakfast. That's not to say it's not generally one of the best breakfasts out there, but I just realized how much we as students can learn from this dish and how much value it can bring into our culinary lives. I determined 4 staples of a great student breakfast: affordability, nutritional value, convenience, and deliciousness. Because it can't just be delicious, it needs to be delicious. We need that, come on. If a breakfast possesses all those qualities, it is a top tier breakfast. I will now show you exactly how shakshuka demonstrates all those principles by just making it. And I'm gonna make it twice. First, I'm gonna make a more traditional, simple, basic version that should act as a blank canvas for all your wildest shakshuka desires, if you have any of those. I sure do. And secondly, I want to make an improved, upgraded version. I want to show you how we can take our base shakshuka and really boost its base stats using some leftovers and a few secret ingredients, so make sure to stick around for that. Okay, let's start with our base shakshuka. And please understand, I'm in no position to show you how to make an authentic, traditional shakshuka. This is just what my research tells me it's most common. Let's talk about the tomato sauce first. There are a lot of possible variations here. Canned whole tomatoes are excellent, especially if you like crushing them with your hands like me, because especially if you live in a region where tomatoes taste like cardboard, I'm looking at you, Netherlands, you can safely rely on the ripeness of canned tomatoes. Next, we're gonna get our knife sharp and start prepping our ingredients, and trust me, this doesn't require that much effort. One staple ingredient is an onion, and I think any good shakshuka should start with it. We're gonna take half of it and give it a dice. Next up, a spinning bell pepper, although regular is just fine. Most shakshuka dishes use a mix of bell peppers and hot peppers. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna finely chop these hot chilies. And as you can see, I like mixing it up with the colors. And while we're at it, we should also prepare our herbs. Some recipes use parsley, some other recipes use cilantro. I personally can't decide, so I just mixed them up and gave them a rough chop together and let the universe decide my herb distribution. Now it's time to cook, so we're gonna heat up a pan on medium heat, and I'm only making this for myself, which is why I'm using such a small baby boy pan. When the pan is hot, we're gonna coat the bottom of it with olive oil, and we're using quite a bit here. And first to the party, the onions. But don't worry, they're gonna be quickly followed by our bell pepper and our hot pepper, and all these guys are gonna get to know each other now. Okay, it's time to spice things up. I have some cumin seeds here. You can use ground cumin, also some smoked paprika. These are very commonly used in shakshuka. And we're just gonna toast them for a bit, bring out those flavors, you know? Of course, don't forget about the salt. And when everything is soft and maybe a bit charred, we can go ahead and add some garlic. Because how can we go wrong with garlic? Now, this is gonna generate one of the best smells your nose has ever encountered. And at that point, add your tomato sauce. Spread the sauce around, and we're just gonna bring this to a gentle simmer. And before we crack our eggs, we need to bring the heat down a bit while we crack them so they won't cook unevenly. You can thank Adam Ragusia for this tip from his shakshuka video. People don't really do this, but I always like to add a drop of water before I cover, so the eggs can steam more efficiently at the top. And yeah, this process takes about 5 to 6 minutes, I would say. You can use the finger test to determine if the whites are set. And when they're just set and you can feel the yolk still nice and soft, it's time to stop the heat and add your toppings. The most popular shakshuka dishes use a crumbled up white cheese like feta, and then the herbs I was mentioning earlier. And yeah, you're pretty much done, to be honest. This is the price breakdown for this specific shakshuka. And please keep in mind, this is the type of breakfast you'd get at a hipster brunch restaurant, and you'd pay like $15 for it. In my opinion, this is a very affordable breakfast for what it is. I'm giving this a 8 out of 10 for affordability. Nutritionally, it's just full of vegetables. It's got a pretty low caloric density, I would say. We got some protein, we got some fats from the eggs, and it's all swimming in this delicious spicy tomato sauce that is very low in calories as well. Sorry for using the C word, but I feel like it's relevant here. And in my opinion, this gets an 8.5 out of 10 nutrition-wise. As far as convenience goes, I feel like when you look at shakshuka, it seems like a really high effort meal, but once you actually do it, you realize this is a 15-minute job. It's an 8 out of 10 for convenience, come on. And is it f***ing delicious? Yes. Of course it's f***ing delicious. It's a 9.5 out of 10. Doesn't get much better than that. But that doesn't mean it cannot be improved. As a matter of fact, this is exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm using leftovers for this dish. Because shakshuka is a dish in which you can reach in the back of your fridge and use those leftover ingredients to create something special, something delicious. These are the things I pretty much always have as leftovers. Half a bell pepper, the white part of a green onion, a chili pepper, half an eggplant, and an opened can of chickpeas that's half eaten. I also have half of an onion, which instead of finely dicing, we're just gonna give it a rough chop. I want to show you that this is a really imprecise dish. It's hard to mess up. I'm just gonna cut all those leftovers up very quickly, not trying to do anything fancy, and literally just get them all in a bowl, and we're gonna use them at the same time. So we start in the same way with a hot pan and some olive oil. We're gonna get our onions in and just give them a little stir in the hot oil, then simply dump all those leftovers in the pan. Now this is culinarily not a good thing to do. These things cook at a different pace, but I just want to show you how easily you can think about this. We're sacrificing a bit of culinary robustness in favor of convenience. What I'm gonna do now is just cover all this and let it cook until everything is soft. You might want to give it a mix from time to time, but it should get perfectly soft in a matter of minutes. And yes, there's some big sloppy pieces of bell pepper in there, but I don't care, it's still gonna be delicious. Now I'm gonna add my chickpeas and some salt and just give it a stir. And again, just spicing things up with cumin seeds and paprika. And this time I'm adding some turmeric powder for the health benefits and because I like the taste of it. It is optional. My next secret ingredient to take the taste score to 10 out of 10 are these roasted peppers that you can probably find canned in your grocery store. They give the dish a subtle smoky flavor and I just love it. Now after everything is combined, it's time to add our tomato sauce just like before. Simmer this for a while and crack those eggs in the same way. Give them a bit of time to cook, poke them to test, and when they're done I'm gonna do the same thing with the feta and the herbs, and this is the new improved version done. Yes, I know we had to sacrifice some cash to improve the other stats, but honestly I'm happy with that. This version is slightly more expensive, which is why I'm gonna downgrade it to a 7.5 out of 10 in terms of affordability. But I think nutritionally we've added so much to it. We have the wonderful chickpeas, some protein, some good old fiber over there. Eggplant has an incredibly low caloric density, and it just results in a dish that's more nutritionally complete, and it will keep you full for even longer. In my opinion, this is a 9.5 out of 10 in terms of nutrition, but feel free to disagree. I think I also demonstrated just how convenient this dish can be by just using some leftovers, give them a rough chop, and just throw them in there all at once. You don't have to think about it too much at all, which leads me to a 9 out of 10 convenience score. And in my opinion, we've dramatically improved the appeal of this dish. I think it does taste better with all those additional ingredients, but feel free to customize this to your own liking. Make your own 10 out of 10 taste, because to me, this is a 10 out of 10 taste. It is truly delicious. So hopefully I've convinced you to try this out at least once. Just give it a shot, trust me, just once. And before I go, I just want to give a massive thank you because we've reached 5,000 subscribers. Does that mean I have 5,000 potential friends? Anyways, I actually genuinely appreciate you for supporting me. It means a lot to me. And if you want some more content, I got plenty of videos, don't you worry. For example, these two videos right here. Let's click on one of them. Let's do it together. 3, 2, 1. This one, click it. Why are you still here? I thought you clicked the video.